there! Well, my name is Mr. Froggy, and welcome to, I guess, what you could call a ranking video. For Honor is a game with so many characters that can be played so different that I thought it'd be interesting to experiment with a list type video. As well as you guys really seem to love my coverage on this game when I've posted those videos for Season 2 of just gameplay. I gained quite a bit of subs and they have a lot of views, so you guys seem to like it. I really like For Honor, so I just want to experiment with new kinds of videos and whatnot. Today, basically, I'll be looking at the assassins and comparing them to see who's better. Hopefully, in the end, by this kind of list series, I'll have looked at all the class types, meaning like Vanguard, Heavy, Assassins, and Hybrids, and I'll compare everyone in those categories and tell you who I think is best. Anyway, nonetheless, let's just get this started with the Peacekeeper. What can I say that hasn't been said? Easily spam light attacks, a zone that comes out almost instantly, and great ways of putting on a lot of bleed damage. Peacekeeper has had some significant nerfs since the game came out, but not really significant in my opinion. In fact, I'd say that currently she is still one of the strongest characters in the game, probably in the top 5. I played her a lot at one point, before the light spam nerf and whatnot. And even though I never really light spam with her, it just felt unstoppable. Like, I could just go into Dominion, rack up so many kills, you'd have the salty people yelling, "Nerf PK!" It was a good time. It kind of felt like nothing could counter her at one point, and that's why I played her so much. I felt invincible. So, do I think she needs more nerfs? I don't know. Maybe, but I want to say smaller nerfs. I don't think she needs significant, like, fully huge nerfs. But that's gonna do it for Peacekeeper. Moving on to Orochi. Now, Orochi is a confusing one. Some think he needs a buff, some think he actually needs a nerf. Well, I think I'm kind of in the middle. I think if a buff is done to Orochi, some things might need to be toned down as well. I think there might need to be some damage reduction if a significant buff is done, because you don't want to send Orochi into overpowered state, you know? Double top light that is quick and does as much as a heavy, flicker bug zone attack, and a monstrous deflect. I think Orochi is a very solid character with lots of options to beat the opponent. And there's not much else to say, so that's going to do it for Orochi. Moving on to the Beserker. I think Beserker could really use a buff, to be totally honest. A seriously high-risk, high-reward character. That playstyle doesn't appeal to a lot of people. That's why the pick rate on Beserker is a little low and you don't see that many Beserkers. If you learn the mix-up, though, Beserker can feel really powerful in some senses. A lot of options for dealing a lot of high damage, including a top overhead heavy that is the most damaging move in the game. It's just really hard to pull off unless you kind of knock them down or whatever. Beserker requires a hell of a lot of understanding, patience, and real time to learn the mix-ups, and I don't think that's going to really appeal to everyone, and I think that's why Beserker is kind of always at a kind of low-ish area, tier-wise. But I do think that if you learn Beserker and you understand Beserker, that Beserker can, in the end, be really good. I still do think that some slight buffs need to be done to Beserker, but I don't know what at this point. That's kind of interesting. It's a really big discussion, because you don't want Beserker to become overpowered, and I feel like if there was a big buff, it's really easy to go in an overpowered zone because Beserker, as it is now, is good, just not great. That's kind of an interesting thing to think about. I don't know how you could buff the Beserker, but I'd like to see a buff. Now, moving on to the final assassin in this class, we have the newly released Shinobi. Being out for, what, only 2-3 weeks now, Shinobi might just be my favorite character in the game already. An uninterruptible, almost unpunishable kick that guarantees a heavy, along with ranged attacks including a ranged guard break that will either reward you seriously, it'll give you a heavy and a bunch of bleed damage, or it will punish you really bad, because if they counter that, you go flying towards them and then you can get a top heavy done to you. You could get whatever, you can get a lot done to you. Insanely quick lights that are on par with Peacekeeper for spam, might even actually be worse in my opinion, and the ability to keep distance if you're losing, which is very important, because if you want to create separation between you and your opponent, especially when you're losing, it gives you more time to think, and if they're just up in your face all the time, it's really hard to concentrate and think about how you're going to win. So the fact that Shinobi has the ability to, you know, backflip out of the way and just kind of create separation, and the dodges are really far, I think that's a really good thing. Shinobi just feels so powerful right now. Maybe a little too powerful, and I honestly expect a nerf coming soon, to be totally honest. I've already got my Shinobi to rep 4 and might even go for rep 5 because I just can't get enough. It It's so much fun to play Shinobi. It's a really, really, really fun character as well. It's not just about how powerful he feels, it's really fun to play. The one downside for Shinobi is obviously that Shinobi has the lowest health pool in the game out of all characters, so that it can bite you in the ass. Like if like I said, you get punished on one guard break, that's pretty much, you pretty much have a quarter of your health left because one heavy takes like all that, man. So in the end, wrapping up the Assassins versus video, I think it's kind of obvious at this point, but I'm gonna go with Shinobi. I just right now think that Shinobi might be the most powerful character in the meta, and I think is easily top tier. Shinobi is also a monster in Dominion. The feats that Shinobi has, as well as just doing range attacks for ganking, Shinobi is just an absolute monster, and that's why Shinobi is my favorite assassin out of the three. I think the assassin class probably has some of the best characters, but I just think Shinobi comes out as my favorite. Alright, so that was the first kind of list video. Thank you for watching. Let me know kind of if you want to see more stuff like this. I'm not gonna at all start doing this as my main stuff, nor will For Honor ever like take over my channel. I'm still a multiple game channel, but I really like For Honor, and I just wanted to try something new. Like I wanted to, you know, experiment with stuff, and this is fun to make, so maybe I'll do more in the future. Most of the gameplay you saw was taken against bots. Some of it was taken against humans, you know, real people. But I just found bots to be more flexible to, you know, get footage of and whatnot, so if you want to call me a fucking noob for fighting bots, then go right ahead. Nonetheless, thank you for watching this list video, and I will see you all in another video. Mr. Froggy is out there.